Can you hear me over here?
Yeah, I'm ready. Go ahead.
Hi, guys, and welcome in to Heart to Heart Conversations with Uma and Mr. 6'6". Hi, Six. How are you doing tonight?
I'm good, Uma. How about you?
Doing great. It's been a while since we had a heart to heart.
I know, right? Should be a good one.
It really is a good one. I got my tea because the tea is about to be spilled tonight. We have some interesting stories coming up, followed up by some never before seen footage of things. So let's get cracking. We have two guests tonight that are coming forward for our show, Swipe, Matched, Betrayed, the horror and dark side of online dating stories. Tonight, we're going to talk to two wonderful women that are actually part of the Lotus Lounge family here on the Meet Me stream. And they're going to be sharing their actual real life stories of falling in love, dating, and then getting burned in the process. So guys, please welcome in Queen Snow Angel. Hi, Queen.
Hi.
How are you?
I'm good.
You ready for tonight?
No.
Well, kudos to you for being brave and showing up and wanting to do this. I really appreciate you showing up. I'm going to ask my panels, when you're not talking, to just mute yourself because there seems to be some background noise. We have BN in the building, but BN, it's saying that you have to connect your mic cam before you can be added to the stream. So there's seems to be some sort of issue, and we lost 6 again. Tonight's going to be like fun with all this technical difficulties going on. So there we go. So BN, just try to, I don't know if I should kick from the studio. I'm gonna let you leave and come back in, BN, and then hopefully your mic will be working. So let's get started by talking to Queen Snow Angel. Queen, I know falling in love in of itself is difficult, but then to fall in love and get burned, we're going to go ahead and mute ourselves so you can get the space to share your story, and then we'll have a heart-to-heart.
Okay. So I don't know where to start. Hold on. I think it might be me. Well, this weekend I was supposed to go meet up with and he said that he got his ticket, and he kept on telling me, I'm coming, because we were supposed to go and spend time with my girlfriend in Oklahoma. And let's just say Thursday night came around and showed up. So then I took off after Izzy daughter got out of school, and I started driving to Oklahoma. Well, we were actually going to go pick him up, but he wouldn't give me his address. So then we kept on driving. Well, I had to turn around because my alternator went out, and I had to, redo everything. But then on Friday, he told me that he was going to be here at Minneapolis, Minnesota airport at 10:55. He never showed up. And he ghosted me. He said that after that, I called him on Saturday morning saying what was going on. I didn't get anything. He blocked me on Snapchat. He blocked me on pretty much almost everything. And then when I said something when Stacy had said something in the group chat, I turned around and I said, no, he did not show up. So I was very, very heartbroken because that was my main priority, is to meet him and to see how he is. And then he never showed up. And then when he found out that it was said in the group chat, he messaged me on Insta and said, I'm still here. I said, well, then why'd you block me? He blocked me on everything. He blocked me on Snapchat. He blocked me on the phone. He blocked me on everything. Like, literally, I was like freaking out. And then come to find out over the weekend, he was talking to my close friend who she also lives in Oklahoma. And he was trying to hit on her, calling her gorgeous, calling her all these other things. And I have all the background. I have all the fucking, excuse my language, I have all the messages that he sent her. And I was very, very heartbroken. And when I confronted him about it, he didn't say anything. And that was the hardest thing.
Yeah, there's so much to unpack here. And I wanted to get a chance to ask questions. I know a lot about the story. She's talking about, so all of us here on this screen actually are part of the Lotus Lounge family that I created in 2020. And it's a group of streamers that are committed to bringing peace, love, light, and positive vibes to the streams. So there's many of us, there's over 20 of us in the family. And of course, you make friendships while we're showing up and doing, stream battles and challenges and topics. You make friendships within the family. Queen Snow Angel made friendship with one particular guy in our group. And I'm going to talk about my experience of him. And we thought it was a good thing because it's somebody that we've known for 2 years. And there was another incident that I'll talk about, but in 2 years, nothing really crazy. So when they said they were getting together and boyfriend, girlfriend, everybody was pretty much happy because it was like, it seemed like a right fit. And then to see somebody that we know and that he knows if I mess up with this woman, you know, it's messing up with the whole family is diabolical in my mind. So I'm gonna ask Six or BN if you guys have questions or you want to jump in, because there's so many things I want to explore about this.
So, when it came to the travel, did you have communication before leaving, like before getting on the plane when you got to the airport? Was there any communication on the day of travel, or did it cease and desist beforehand? Like, I guess what I'm just trying to understanding is you had understanding that he would be waiting. He was on the other side, ready to receive you on the day that you left to meet him.
See, the Friday night or Thursday night, he didn't give me any information. Like, he didn't tell me when he was going to land. He didn't tell me when he was leaving. He didn't tell me any of that. It was actually he was supposed to be here by 9 o'clock on Thursday because I needed another driver to drive the 11 hours down to my girlfriend's house. And he never showed up. And then on Saturday, he actually gave me a time that he was leaving, and that was at 10:55 on Saturday. But see, another thing is he told me that his friend didn't pick him up and he wasn't answering the phone. Come to find out, he told Uma, or on Uma's stream, that his kid was sick. He never told me that. Not once did he tell me that his kid was sick. He when I confronted him about it, he didn't say nothing about it. He didn't tell me, "Oh yeah, that I forgot. I'm sorry." And that's all he said.
And that's where I started to realize something was wrong, because the night before, we were all excited that they were going to meet up. We were all like, oh my gosh, this is actually happening. And in my head, I was like, they're doing it right, right? Because how long were you guys romantically talking? Like a month or 2 months?
We were talking for 2 months, but we started dating a month ago.
Yeah. So they were talking for 2 months. They actually officially made it official a month ago. And I always tell you guys, if you're online dating, you need to meet these people in person right away, because anybody could say anything about who they are online. Until you meet them, see where they live, meet some of their people, their family, their friends, don't accept anything as truth. So I thought that you guys were doing the right thing. But even within the month, all of this came out. And I knew something was wrong because the morning of, I did an early stream, like around 8 or 9 in the morning. And he came in my stream and I'm like, aren't you excited? You're getting on a plane today. You're going to go see Queen Snow Angel. And then he started making all these excuses. Oh, my kid is sick. And I'm talking to him like his kid is sick. And I'm like giving him advice, like, don't worry, just get on the plane. Your kid will be fine. Your mom, your ex is there to take care of the baby. She can take him to the doctors, whatever. And I think, like, because I kept talking him out of it, I think that was going to be his first excuse and his only excuse. Oh, my kid is sick, I can't come. But I was just so like adamant, like, no, your child is probably nothing. It's cold and flu season. It's probably not COVID. You know what I'm saying? Because he was saying, I hope it's not COVID. So like now, I don't even think his kid was sick. I think that's crazy. That's diabolical that you can actually involve your child's name in like an excuse and even wish sickness upon you. Do you guys know what I'm talking about? Like, that's crazy. That's crazy. BN6, what do you guys have to say about that?
BN.
Oh, let me help you unmute. There you go.
BN, what do you think?
I mean, communication is key. Like it's essential not to assume anything. Not saying that this is the case, but like being crystal clear about, okay, when do you come in, when you land in, what flight are you on, and stuff like that, like days before, the day before, so that if they're going to hang themselves with a rope, you're giving them plenty of leeway to be able to do that or to back out of it, with just simple communication. But I think it's diabolical. I think that's just absolutely, I'm speechless. I have no words. That's just wrong. That's just wrong in the worst way.
And so that's what something from Meetme said. That's what you call mentally unstable. And that's where I was telling Queen, I was like, there's something not right with this guy, because, for you to start with, it's my child, and then you're realizing we're not giving you an out, like, and then you say, you put the blame on your friend, and then you actually give Snow Angel a time. Okay, I'm arriving at this time at this airport. Because you showed up to the airport, right?
Mm-hmm.
No, he told me, because I didn't sleep the night before because I was driving.
Yeah.
He told me he was leaving 2 hours away from where his profile actually says. He said that there was no airport close to him, but 2 hours away. And when I asked him for his address, he clamped up and didn't give me nothing. Because I was actually going to drive to him, pick him up, and then have him drive the rest of the way. I don't remember what the question
was. He the
that you
one that made the offer to drive with you, or how did that come about?
Yeah, he did.
He made the offer. He said, "Hey, I'll drive to you and help you with that drive."
Yes. Because he knew I was in a lot of pain, because a couple weeks ago I found out that I have to have neck surgery, and it's hard for me to drive long distance, but I did it anyways. And Monday is when I find out when I actually have my surgery.
That's wild.
It's hard to sit in a man's mindset of why they do the things they do, why they make the choices they make. I think a lot of times, it's not an excuse, but there's this process in a man's head when I'm choosing a woman, when I'm getting to know her, when I'm making all the first moves, when I'm setting the first plans, when I'm planning first dates, meet and greets, meetups. There's this voice, if you will, in your head that is almost like the nervous you, the regretful you, the scared you, the not sure if you really want to do this you, right? And I think this side of men, it has a lot of women hurt. It has a lot of women in a space of not trusting men, not not being open to the dating process because of this.
Well,
But
I
I
don't
will.
know. Yeah, see, Rob's doing like a look. I don't know if we can blame this on all men, though. I think this particular individual is mentally unstable, because I unfortunately have some news to share. Now, 6, I'm not going to disagree with you. I think what you're talking about are regular men. You know what I'm saying? Like men who got their brain cells together. But I have this woman, you know, I never even asked if she wanted to be nameless or not. I'm pretty sure she doesn't want to be nameless, but I'm just, you know, gonna talk about it without mentioning her name. Concerning Kyle, we have had allegations before. So the situation was that this, I'm about to talk about this situation about Kyle. This situation came up a couple months ago where a friend of mine was telling me these things about Kyle, but the allegations were so criminally sound that it was hard for me to believe. And I was confused because I didn't know who to believe, you know? So what I did at the time was I removed this person from my stream family. I explained to him though, I said, listen, the allegations that this woman is making against you are very serious. You could go to jail for this. And I cannot associate with somebody who knowingly does these things or who does these things. And he said, I understand. Like he always is very remorseful or pretend to be remorseful. I understand, you know, I appreciate you. You know, like that's what he says, you know, I admire you, I respect you, all these things, which to me is a clear sign of a narcissist. He knows what to say to get you to believe the crap of oh yeah, I'm about to share it because I got she sent me all the she's working tonight or else she would have been in this box. She sent me all the format of what happened. But when it happened, I did remove him from the stream family. And I told him, I was like, no hard feelings. I don't know. I said, of course, if you did these things, I can't talk to you anymore. And after, you know, I said, but I don't know because there's no proof. There's, you know, so it was one of those kind of in between things, you know? So he kept coming to my stream. And then after like, what was it, guys? Like after a month, there's Go Ferret. Hi, Go Ferret. After I'm about to talk, Go Ferret. Heyo. So after a month of him continuously coming to my stream, I'm like, you know what? Things must be okay. And then the woman the woman I'm talking about, she was coming to my stream and also addressing him. So I figured like everything's good, everything's cool. Maybe it was a misunderstanding or something. So I brought him back into my family. Because, you know, the first time you hear stuff, you're kind of like, okay, I don't know what to believe. But I'm going to tell you right now, after hearing what he did to Queen Snow Angel, yeah, I'm pretty sure in my mind that this is a psychopath. Okay. So this is what the person sent me. She said, I was streaming on TikTok. My TikTok streams are dedicated to mental health for all, including youth. So there are quite a few younger people that come to my streams. The day after a stream, I had a very young, very impressionable young lady message me to let me know that Kyle had sent her a questionable message in her DMs. She felt uncomfortable about it. I felt uncomfortable about it. I personally do not think a grown man has any business sending any minors direct messages. I'm positive that he was aware of the young lady's age because the young lady mentioned it several times while she was in my stream. This woman, hi Melbell, this woman also sent me screenshots of Kyle's profile and the messages. The messages are incriminating. He was basically asking a 15-year-old girl for her Snapchat. And he was adamantly following up with her, asking her to, you know, like it was him reaching out to her. Clearly, he was asking how is she? How is her night going? He's asking what you're doing. Do you have Snap? He was very much pursuing this child. Queen, I know this is the first time you're hearing about it. Hi, Kane. If you want to unmute, if any of you guys want to unmute, just hit your mic button and it'll unmute.
Yeah, if I would have known that, I wouldn't have opened up to him like that because honestly, I have trust issues. And that is one that I am very, very, very touched because my daughter got actually raped by my husband when she was raped. And I have to live with that for the rest of my life. And that is why That is why I'm having issues with him now.
Well,
Sorry.
let's no, don't feel sorry for crying. And being that we're on YouTube, say great. Just a future reference. You don't have anything to cry for. I feel, you guys know I'm a spiritual person. I feel our spirit guides stepped in at the right moment, because I'm beginning to put two and two together. And it's very possible that he was pursuing you because you have female children. And I'm now realizing that, like right now in this reality. How old are your daughters?
One's almost in, she'll be 18 in next month, and I have a 5-year-old.
And did he have a relationship with your daughters, or was he very adamant about having a relationship with your daughters?
Not much actually. He did ask Izzy to add her on Snap, and I have every proof that he has not tried hitting on her or nothing like that. Thank God.
He has
Because
to
if
add
he,
who?
he added my oldest daughter.
The 18-year-old?
Yeah, but she really hasn't talked to him. I already told him.
Let her block that man.
I will.
First of all, I want to sympathize with Snow for what happened. I want us to very much so speak on the facts, very much speak on the things that we have information about. But as far as speculating, I think that's where a lot of these conversations don't really have a male voice. As a man, being a man who does not condone any type of abuse towards any woman, I am enraged with the information, but I will not speculate. So, as much as I dislike where this could go, I think we have enough information to speak about where exactly it is. And I just don't want us to go down a rabbit hole about the woulda, coulda, shouldas, when we need to speak exactly, specifically to who and what he has done and who and what he is. Because we could go down hypothetical roads all day, but in this situation, there's actually a person who's lived it. And for her to have had a situation in her ex-marriage to now come up and potentially could have all these woulda, coulda, shouldas playing in her mind, I don't want to put that shit in her head, because she didn't make a mistake trying to find love. She didn't make a mistake being vulnerable. She did not make a mistake opening herself up to a person. That is not a mistake. So him being who and what he is it's a big factor in her making sure she's understanding moving forward. Like I said the other night, that this does not disrupt her journey to find love. It does not stop her, but it very much so cautions her to what's out here without her saying, well, what if? Well, what if? Because those what ifs are going to go with you to the next guy. So that's kind of where I'm hoping the what ifs will, because we could what if all day. I just don't want those hindering you from the next opportunities because it didn't happen. Let's speak to what happened, who he is, what he did, and that way you'll know how to better maneuver it next time. But if we go down the road of, well, you know, he could have, and what if he was thinking, and maybe he was wanting, then there's a whole bunch of stuff we're putting in her head that it didn't happen. It could have, it may have been, but I think we should speak to how do we keep her motivated to continue to find love, but be understanding that there are people like him out?
Well, as much as I sympathize with Queen Snow Angel, I myself am beginning to feel some sense of guilt because, yeah, like Go Ferret said, he definitely sent a 15-year-old direct messages asking for personal information. Go Ferret, when you first came to me with this, I should have not been so blinded by my gullibility and my belief in people. Because like Snow said, if that was known in our family, if we had not dealt with this individual anymore since the time when these first allegations came out, we wouldn't be in this situation. Right. And so now I'm feeling guilty. Right. Eli's like, I can't believe we gave him a second chance. And that's how I feel right now. I feel very guilty. I feel like as the head of the Lotus Lounge family, I feel I should take some accountability in this as well and apologize to you, Snow, because it was my decision to bring him back in the family and bring him around everybody. And I should have really just listened to Go Ferret from the beginning and just trusted her and followed her implicitly and not take a chance. But to be honest, like Six, I don't want to just persecute people without getting all the facts. But sometimes, like you just gotta believe things, especially when it comes from a good source. Like Go Ferret, you're a good source, So I know it's not my fault, but I do feel like a little bit of guilt. So I just want to apologize to you as well, Queen. And the only thing I can say is he is completely out of the family. He's unbadged in my stream. I haven't blocked him because I'm hoping at some point he will come into my stream and give an explanation as to why he did what he did or something. I doubt it, but I just I'm curious as to why this man seems to be targeting women and also children. I have a question concerning your friend who he was hitting on. Does she have children? I'm just curious. Hi, Grace. Did you unmute?
Yes,
You talking to me?
She was asking you, Queen Snow, that your friend that he was hitting on, that you found out he was hitting on, does she have children? Can you?
Are you talking to me?
Yes.
Yes, she was
You're talking to Snow Angel, right?
To Snow.
Sorry.
Snow
guys.
Angel? Yeah, okay.
What was the question again? I'm sorry.
If your friend has children, and how old are the children if she has children?
She does, but she doesn't have custody of the children.
Okay.
So that's kind of, although I understand, even the comment of, now I really think that he was just after Snow's daughter. I understand the comment, but that's exactly what I'm talking about. Because she made it very clear she has nothing in her daughter's Snapchat showing that this man was communicating with her in that fashion, right? The other friend who he was hitting on does not even have custody of the children. So although it's almost like in court where you're saying just because he got caught with weed, he must have also shot this person. We can't correlate the two. I understand what he did in the initial situation with the 15-year-old, and that is a messed up situation. But it is a separate situation from Snow because there is no proof. There is nothing that shows a correlation. He was not reaching out to her 18-year-old daughter.
He was, because he asked for that. Like, that's where I think to me, that was a crossing of a boundary. Why is he who is interested in Snow asking Snow for her 18-year-old daughter's snap.
He
That's
did
not
ask me. He did, and the answer to something's question, yes, he did ask me to have my daughter's Snapchat.
So you see, like that to me is weird on his part, because it's like, you're dating this woman, you're talking to this woman. Why do you need her daughter's Snapchat? That don't make sense to me. You know, I honestly, Snow, I would not have given him. I would have been like, that would have been my first red flag. Why do you need my daughter's Snapchat?
But see, my daughter didn't add him right away because she didn't know him like that. You know what I mean? And then
Exactly.
when I started talking more and more, she kind of said, you know, we were trying to get the address out of him. And the thing about it is, on our way down there, we actually asked for an address, and she said, Kyle, if you give us your address so I can have my mom have somebody else drive, I will add you back on Snap. That's the agreement that it was. And then he started crying, and then she started crying because we wanted to really seriously meet him. But now that I'm coming to find out that that is a red flag. And I didn't realize it until now.
It's just, it's
I don't know.
tragic.
I don't know. As a man, I'm just, because it's, and again, I'm so on Snow's side. I don't want my tone and my opinion to in any way make it seem as though I'm not standing right here, literally with my fucking fist up for you, Snow. I'm on your side. I want you to know that before I say anything. Okay? But every woman I've ever dated gave me access to her children. Once we became a certain level of whatever, especially once we started talking about meetups, it happens. Do I think what he did with the 15-year-old was out of bounds? Most definitely. I do not excuse it. But again, for me to correlate him getting to know a woman for a month's time, in which based on optics, everyone thought, man, this is awesome. I can't wait for you guys to meet. Then it must have meant the union between the two of you. If strangers can say, man, this is cool, I'm excited for you guys, then there's no way her soon-to-be adult daughter wouldn't start to see her mother falling for a guy, talking to a guy, liking a guy. So at some point, the young lady would, of course, in whatever communication, right? And if we're honest, in today's time, respectfully, you're probably not going to have my child's number. But I do know they have Snapchat and IG. And if we allow our kids to have these pages, it's normally in the case for the family, the friends that want to keep track of them, that want to keep up with them, communicate with them, they can do so. So again, I am on her side. But for us to take it and make it and look only at how horrible it could be, I will not do that to her. Because the next man that is an amazing man sitting across from her should not be going through the lens of a guy that did not even do. Had he done it, had he said it, had it been clear, if we knew for a fact in her situation he did it, then yes, she should be cautious moving forward of that when it comes to the next man. But for us to sow things on her, on this guy, that he could have done, will only make it so much harder for the next person she wants to love. The next person that says, hey, I'd really like to get to know your daughter. That should
No.
not be a weird comment. And
That
that's all I want us to keep clear.
it's very weird for me. It's very weird for me. No, you don't need to know my daughter. No, you're not dating my daughter. You're dating me. Get to know me. If we get married and you put a ring on my finger and we're going to become an actual family, then you can get to know my daughter. You know, even with my children, I don't have daughters. I have boys. I have sons. And even with my man, he had a very limited relationship with them until he moved in the house, because I'm just very, very protective of my children. And I understand what you're saying, Six, about you don't want to taint it for Snow for the next person she dates. But to be honest, Snow, I'd rather taint it for you, because yes, Six is right. The next guy that comes along could be your Prince Charming and the guy that makes all the pain go away. But what if he isn't? What if he's exactly like Kyle, or worse, or like your ex, right? So to me, we as women, we need to take these warning signs. We need to watch everything, and we need to be super, super cautious. There's a reason why I didn't really have very strongly committed relationships with men until my children grew up. Because I think as a mom, there was always that fear in me that this could happen to my children too, especially being boy children, because they don't discriminate now. These pedos out here do not discriminate between boys and girls. So I dated while my children were growing up, but I made sure to date long distance. I dated guys in New York. I dated guys in Florida. The one guy that I dated that lived here, that was 20 minutes from me, we were together 5.5 years. And he hardly slept over, came over. Like, we would wait until the weekends to see each other, because during the week I had my kids. Like, I just was so adamant about it. So I get your point, Six, and I know what you're trying to do. You don't want to jade her to the point where she's just like, screw it, I'm not ever talking to men again. You know, you don't want that. And I hear you, but Snow, you're going to have to find the balance, right? Like, you're going to have to find the balance between opening your heart to love, but then having a little bit of guardedness. But we will come back to this conversation. Welcome in, everybody. This is Heart to Heart with Uma and Mr. 6'6". Humble, yes, you wanted to say something, and then we're going to go right over to BN, who's going to share her story, and then we're going to open it up for Q&A and more discussion with our two guests. Hi, Humble.
All right, so even me as a woman, I deal with women, you know, and I have dealt with women with kids, but I did call it like the gist of this, but it is weird, like that, that kind, for that kind of relationship with your daughter. Because at the end of the day, I tell people I don't want to meet your kids until I know we have the potential to be going further. You don't just bring everybody in their lives,
Yeah.
So, it's a learning process. I'm gonna tell you, don't beat yourself up. This is a learning process. This was actually a bullet that got dodged, because granted, if he did come through, or whatever, you don't know what kind of guy he was in person. You feel me?
And to be honest, none of us know what kind of person he is, because the only thing I know is what Kyle looks like and what Kyle has said to me. I don't have any proof of his job, of his child, of his, the way he was hiding his address. Like, Six, at that point, this is not man bashing. This is just kind of trying to make sense of it. Wouldn't it be safe to assume that he might just have somebody? He might be living with somebody, because remember, he has a young baby. So what if he's living with the mother of the baby?
Seeing that could be a thing too. And I did want to put in there, like, granted, moving forward, don't give up on love. You know what I mean? Don't give up dealing with men if men is what you like. Don't go to women because you're having bad times with men, because that's just not the answer. I say, put boundaries in place. Strong boundaries. I wouldn't even say, like, I know when you worded it, like, put her, to guard it, but keep your boundaries straight.
Keep your heart open, but have your boundaries straight.
Boundaries with having your heart open.
Like, I'll say this about this individual. I didn't believe anything he said. I still hung out with him, but I just didn't believe anything he said, because it doesn't make sense. Now, if I was romantically involved with him, I would have put the pressure on, right? Because how you say you work for yourself, you're a CEO, you work for yourself, you own your own company, but you're in Uma's stream 24/7. You're in Uma's stream, Stacy's stream, something stream, my stream. Don't you, how you work for yourself and you're in everybody's stream all day, all night.
But the crazy part, what else did we say, Uma? He be in everybody's stream, but where is he on everybody's list?
He never gifts, he gives the freebies. And that's another thing. If you work for yourself, you have disposable income, you know, you're a boss. And if you care about these people, like you're going to drop on them, you're going to give them gifts, you're going to take care of your people, but you don't have it like that. You know what I'm saying? So not a lot of his stuff he said just didn't make sense. All right. We're going to continue this conversation with Queen. We want to give her a chance to catch a breath and to like let everything sink in. And in the meantime, we're going to have Bien unmute herself. And Bien, welcome in. Please feel free to share your story with us.
Thank you for allowing me to come in. Queen, I just want to encourage you. Same thing to what Humble said and what Uma said. You know, don't give up. Keep your heart open, but just have those boundaries. The story that I'm about to tell is basically, I want to preface it by saying, women, please listen and get in tune with your intuition, because it is trying to tell you something so that you can avoid certain situations. So the one story that I have, there's many, unfortunately. The one story that I have about online dating is this gentleman, he hit me up and, you know, we started chatting and everything. And I'm always like, I'm looking at you sideways or whatever, but I'm asking you questions to try to get information or whatever. Yeah, I always do it. That's just the way I approach it. Call it good, bad, indifferent, whatever. But so, you know, they hit me up and we're chatting and stuff like that. I'm like, okay, this is fine. This is, you know, and so I asked certain questions and, you know, he was consistent, you know, with the good mornings and the, you know, hey, what your day's like and stuff like that. So he was being consistent when it came to that. And I was thinking, okay, I like this. Is the first like solid, consistent person. Now it had only been 2 weeks. It wasn't like no long thing, but I just like the fact that he was giving me conversation because I like conversation. And so, but my instinct was like, there's something not quite right about that. The first clue was the language. You know, when someone's typing, because you're messaging back and forth. The way he was, the way the language was coming through was like it was being interpreted because it didn't sound right, like how we talk to each other. How Americans talk to each other. We have phrases that we say and stuff like that that maybe a foreigner probably wouldn't get. So that was one of my first clues. I'm like, that don't quite make sense, but maybe he's just with the spelling. But I kept my ears open, my eyes open. So then the next thing was he was like, I have a daughter. You know, they're always between 6 and 13. You know, whatever. And I'm thinking, okay, what happened to, the mom died, you know, blah, blah, blah. Oh, wow, that's, I'm sorry to hear that. Did you get therapy? Because that's such a tragic thing to lose your spouse and especially your child, a daughter losing their mother. Like, did you get counseling? And he was like, what's counseling? And I'm like, what? Therapy, therapy? He had no clue. And I'm like, okay, that was flag number 2. But I was like, all right, I'm gonna go with this. Right. So we kept talking or whatever. And my instinct just kicked in again and said, video chat this guy. You need to know who you're talking to. I'm like, okay. So I was like, hey, let's video chat. I need to know that you're a real person on the other end of this conversation, that I'm not just talking to some rando. And so his first excuse was, I said, it's free here on the app. So, you know, it ain't costing us nothing. Right. He goes, well, maybe, you know, we could do WhatsApp. I'm not going anywhere off this app until we video chat. I need to see you. Okay, well, I'll try, but I don't know. Right. And so he was like, well, I'm in the military and I'm overseas right now, but I live in blah, blah, blah. So he made the mistake of saying blah, 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 because I used to live in blah, blah, blah. So I was like, oh, so tell me, what do you like about that place? Or what don't you like about that place? Like, cause I used to live over here. What parts did you used to live into? And so he couldn't give no description. He couldn't give no examples. He was just generalizing stuff. And I'm like, flag number 4. So I'm like, okay, I'm gonna still go with this because I'm already done at this point. But I'm like, I'm gonna just go with this and see where this goes. So then he's like, oh, well, I can't video chat because the military frowns upon, and I can get in trouble and stuff like that. And I'm like, really? I've never heard that, but okay, I'm available at this time. You're not in the military 7 days a week. You do have off time, so you can video chat during your off time. I get that you can't do it while you're working. Let's video chat in your off time. These are my available days. What works for you? Does this work for you or whatever? So he's like, well, I'll see. So my instinct told me, go and Google it. So I Googled it, military, video conferencing, allowed, not allowed. And it was like, oh no, we absolutely love when families get together and video chat and stuff like that. I was like, I'm done. I'm out. There's no coming back at this point. So then when he hit me up again and I said, you know what? You lied. And because you lied, erase my number. I don't ever want to talk to you again. No, please stop. I'll video chat. And I'm like, nah, you lied to me. Like you said that you would get in trouble when actually the military encourages people to video chat and stuff because they want their people to stay connected to their family. Yeah, okay, well, I'll video chat you right now. It's like, okay, video chat me right now. I want to see what this looks like. So he video chats me and I'm seeing a person and I'm like, okay, it looks like it's pictures. All right, whatever. But I was still done at that point, whatever. And so I said, but the fact that once you lie to me, that's it. You're done. There's no more. There's no coming back from that. And I said, you know what? Thank you for the video chat, but I don't think this is going to work out. So, well, no, please don't. And I'll explain everything. I said, really? You'll explain everything to me? Yeah, I'll explain everything. Okay. So what part of Nigeria are you from? And he actually told me, I think he was from Lagos or Ghana, one of those. And I was like, oh, okay. I said, so how do you guys do this? Do you do it as a group or you individualize or what? And he goes, no, there's like 6 to 10 of us. And, we do blah, blah, blah. And I'm thinking, okay, if he's going to spill the beans, I'm going to ask the questions. I was like, okay, so what about the video chat? How did you do that? He's like, well, I had a phone and then I found a video. See, what they do is they take pictures off your Instagram, your Facebook, then they'll create a profile using those pictures. And so he found this guy, found all his pictures. So that's why he was able to feed me different pictures at different times that wasn't on the website. I'm like, okay, that's why I'm thinking, okay, he's probably legit. He's sending me pictures that's not on the website. I said, how did the video thing go? He goes, well, I took one phone that I had and I put my other phone next to it in front of it facing each other. So it looked like you were watching me on video. And I'm like, no wonder you wasn't answering my questions when I was asking you stuff on the video. And he goes, yeah. And then I said, how old are you? I said, are you even of age? He goes, no, I'm like 25 and stuff. I said, you know what? You need to go get a real job. I said, because you out here messing with people's hearts, playing with women's minds, and then you're visually, you want to get them to the point where you want to start digging in their wallets. He goes, I would have never asked you for money. I said, I know you wouldn't have asked me for money because I wouldn't have given you a dime. It wouldn't even have gotten to that point. I said, the fact is, don't turn this around. This is about you trying to scam women out here. And I said, I'm reporting you because you're falsifying, you're being fraudulent, and you're out here scamming people. And I was like, no, we're not having that. And so he just kept begging and stuff. I said, see, what the problem is you met a real one. You thought you was going to get over on another chick. But then the fact that you actually started getting interested in things that we was talking about and enjoying the conversation, now you're sorry, but it's too late. And so I just want to caution women out there, please, please, please do your research. Google these pictures, Google these men, ask them questions, just ask lots of questions. And if they get irritated that you're asking questions, then you probably don't want to be with that person, because someone who's trying to get to know you wouldn't mind answering certain questions about, now I understand, their income or, like their exact address right from the get-go, because I don't want nobody to know where I live from the get-go, but, you should be asking certain questions that can help you get to know them, and where they're thinking, and so that can kind of help. And then trust in your instinct. If you feel something ain't right, question it. Don't give the red flags a pass, because they're there for a reason. So that's my story.
Wow. So you
Guess
actually
Humble.
got one over the scammer. Go ahead, Humble.
Yeah. Yeah. I was fortunate in that sense. What would you?
I don't deal with anybody that says they're in the military.
Oh.
Honestly, they don't have time to talk and video.
I can't hear you.
She said she doesn't, you missed a red flag.
Oh, if they're in the military?
Yeah, don't date somebody in the military.
because the first thing, like you said, I had women say, "Oh, I can't video chat," like, you know, stuff like that.
Yeah.
Yeah, that was my other red flag when he said we was in the middle, and he hemmed and hawed about that before because he didn't want to like come out and directly say it, because I was like, yeah, we got to meet within 2 weeks, or otherwise we drop in this conversation. Like, he goes, oh well, and then that's when the military thing came out, and I'm like, oh, here we go. So I just, I kind of knew, but I just went with it to see where it was going to go, because I just knew that this was a scammer. And I'm like, okay, I'm going to expose you, and then I'm going to tell the website about you, because, and I'm sure they'll probably come back as somebody else, whatever. But at least shedding light on things for people to look out for. They come in all different shapes and sizes. Yeah, it's very interesting.
I'm really glad you shared your story, because there are a lot of women on online dating that don't know the Nigeria Lagos play, and you really detailed it really well.
Mm-hmm.
Women, pay attention to her story. If you meet somebody and they say they're in the military, first red flag, because they're going to start saying things like, oh, I'm away, I can't call you, I can't text you. They have video chat in across the world. They do. Trust me. I watched 90 Day Fiance. People in the southernmost parts of Africa are, there was this one guy, he was from an island I never even heard of. I'm like, where is this place? But he met his boo in England, and they were video chatting, and he took like 3 planes to get there. You can video chat anywhere in the world. Okay. So be aware of that. When you start talking to somebody online, you want to get on the FaceTime right away. So that was really good of you. Kudos to you to do. 6, what are your thoughts about this second story?
Once again, I want to sympathize with being the one for, I've heard about this. I was actually in a stream recently where, a guy comes in the box and he's, trying to shoot his shot, and he's saying he's from here, and they're saying, no, he's a scammer, and I'm like, well, damn, that's crazy. This man coming here trying to pour his little heart out and find love, and y'all saying because he's from Africa, he's a scammer. So I can't knock a woman for their experience, because I don't. That's why I say I sympathize. I don't have any understanding of what it feels like to have this done. But I do know it's real. In Atlanta, it literally was on the news or the radio that there are women out here who are 50, 60, 70, 100K out of their accounts,
right?
Because of these men who are coming into their lives and scamming them, and then leaving them high and dry and heartbroken. So I know it happens, and women do need to be cautious of this. So I don't have anything really to say against it, because again, I can't speak against something I've never experienced. It's just baffling to know that when I'm watching a lot of the movements on the app, where the corny guy, the guy who's not cool, the guy who isn't as enticing, if you will, is in the box. He's real. You can see him daily. He comes in here every day, and he doesn't get the attention. And then you hear stories like this where it's like, how in the fuck could a catfish get all the energy that someone who is literally crazy about you could never get? So that's the only thing that kind of confuses me in it, is knowing that there are women who are highly pursued by men that they know are real, and those men would never have a chance. And then those same women get bamboozled by pictures and videos. And I just love the fact that being the one, her spidey sense came on from day one, and she was able to nip it in the bud quickly. Because for people to go 6 months, a year in that shit, is absolutely baffling to me.
Very
Yeah.
true.
Well, I mean, that did come over time with, like I said, I've had several bad type of situations. So that just came with experience because of being almost taken quite a few times. But and watching some of my friends, my best friend, was in love with this guy overseas. He could only be in the States for 2 weeks at a time and all this stuff. And they were set to get married and everything. And I was like, but you haven't like met the guy, type of thing. And come to find out he wasn't real. And she was just devastated. So I kind of learned from her mistake. Plus I was like, yeah, you really got to be cautious because people can be whoever they want to be behind screen. But like you said, you have to meet them very quickly. And I even had it in my profile. If we can't meet within 2 weeks, don't even bother trying to contact me.
Agreed.
It's that simple.
And to Snow's point, because they did live like close to each other, and that's why she was kind of adamant about we need to meet soon. And I think that was good on your part, Snow, that you did that, because he could have been leading you on, for a good couple of months and getting you deeper and deeper, more, invested. Thank God you found this out now. We have some comments coming in. Go Ferret said, this is exactly why I will 100% never date online again. Educated Flowers said, women need to understand that the fantasy in their mind about the perfect guy is your kryptonite. These chameleons study that and become it. That is such a true story. And I just want to share a story that is not online, because I have a girlfriend who, when I was in my 20s, I was in college, and she was in the military, and she fell in love with her sergeant, I guess, the guy above her. And they had this relationship, and then they got married, and I met him, and he was really nice, and she got pregnant and, had a baby. And it was like a dream come true. He was a nice guy, everything. And then, she's living at home with her mom. I knew her because, she was the sister to my boyfriend. So I was at college, but I would come home on the weekends to his house. Was like the spot where everybody, was. And I was like the godmother actually to her kid. And her husband was hardly there because he was, in the military. He was a sergeant, whatever. And then something tipped her off. I don't know what it is that tipped her off, but she just felt like something was off. And she said, I need to drive. I can't even remember how many hours it was, 6 hours, 8 hours to the base to go see him. I need to go see him. And she wanted me to go with her and her kid. So we're driving now, me, her, and her kid. I'm babysitting the kid, and she's driving, and I could tell something's off, but I don't know what's going on. So we get there, and I couldn't go in the room. She had to meet with some officials, and then she came out. Come to find out, that man was already married, already had a wife and children. And what he was doing broke some sort of MP law or whatever. And his wife was on base. So I just wanted to say that story for Go Ferret, because you said never meeting people online. This is somebody she met in person, that she knew in person. What's up, Humble?
Yeah, you just gotta watch out for people, because that's a thing. People got double lives they want to live. Trying to, have two families, living lives that they can't. I'm about to say, what is that? The word abstain, or they can't really handle, because that's how everything comes out to play. Because they can't really handle that, but they want that. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
But I feel like that's common, that people want that. Honestly, like in the military, they're big on that, having double families, and
I really think it's a lot more simple. I think Queen Snow is unique in her own fucking way. So if I'm married to Uma, it don't matter. If I'm not happy in my marriage and Queen Snow shows me her uniqueness, I'm now, even though I'm tied, I'm attracted to her uniqueness. I go into the grocery store next week and I meet being the one. And she's unique. And although I know I can't leave my relationship, damn, it's nice to see this woman smile and laugh at my jokes. And for some reason, she had on a Ravens jersey and she loves football. So she's my getaway when it comes to football. It's a lot simpler than what we make it. There are voids in people's lives and voids in people's relationships. And you just so happen to be so fucking unique that in a way you filled the void and had a person so far outside of themselves that they were willing to jeopardize their career, their relationship, their family, just for what you gave them. Take some credit for being a dope fucking person in a category of your life that would make a person say, I can't not have her in my life. Now, all the wrong shit that comes with it, of course. You're a cheater, you're a dog, you suck, horrible parent, bad person, untrustworthy, dishonest, you're all of that. But you're also a human who has feelings, who just so happens to look at another human and say, damn, I like them.
But at what point, though, do we? I understand that. That makes a lot of sense. But how do we get over the feeling of like we're cattle? Because from a female's perspective, I just feel sometimes hearing these stories like women are just cattle that men could prey upon. They can coerce us, like, how you have the cattle that go through the gates.
Mhm.
And that's how they guide them to get where they want them to go. Like men have figured us out so well that they study us, right? I think somebody, Educated Flower, said that they study us. And they have these right responses. They know what to say. They know what to do to get us to go through that little fencing area and get us exactly where, how I understand what you're saying about, yeah, we could be unique or we could just be cattle, right?
And at some point,
easily preyed upon.
like I've asked before, is there a such thing as good manipulation? Because it's all, anytime a man is after your heart, after you as a woman, he is doing things to manipulate you. The question is, does it benefit you? Does it leave you safe? Does it leave you smiling, happy, feeling secure and in your feminine, your lady energy? Or do you feel tricked? Do you feel fooled? Do you have a shitload of questions? Because I can manipulate a situation to where it's the perfect date, and I know your smile gonna get bigger at every turn of this date. It's manipulation because you sat on the phone and told me everything you like, so I've built a day full of everything you like. I'm manipulating your feelings. But I can also be the guy that I don't want nothing but her body. I don't want nothing but her time. I don't want nothing but her money. I just want to drive her car, and I can manipulate you in another way as well. So when your intuition puts you in a space of, I'm confused. Hold on, Uma, what do you think about when you have to question, when you're going and calling your friends and saying, I don't know, girl? I think that's bad manipulation. But when you go on a date, when you have conversations, and you feel like this man is doing everything in his power to manipulate you to love him, and you don't feel cheated on the other side of it, I think that's when you start to know it's real and for you, opposed to for them. I'm manipulating you because I want you, opposed to I'm manipulating you for what you can do for me.
But then it goes to the word manipulation. Like if it's pure genuine, why do you have to manipulate? Why can't it just come from the heart? Like, yes, that woman shared something with you that she liked, and then you go do that. Why can't it just be that you doing it because you want to do it, not because you're manipulating a situation to get her to feel a certain way? If she's going to feel a certain way, she's going to feel it on her own. Like, because I don't know, when I hear the word manipulation, I just think back. You ask the question, is there such thing as good manipulation? Well, if I'm trying to get my kids to eat vegetables and I put it in a nice pie and I blend it up with the sweet stuff, yeah, I'm manipulating them to get their veggies in. Okay, but it's a good thing because they need it.
So why is it that we can do that for an adolescent child, but we can't do that for the mother of said child? We as men are always diminished when women put their relationship with their child. It's as though you guys don't see us seeing you in the same light as our child. You see our child and see that doing something for them that makes them better, that puts them in a happy space, that keeps them safe. It can be manipulation and it's okay. Why can't I, when I'm trying to keep you safe, when I want better for you, can I not do the same thing if I call myself having provision over your life? It's the exact same as a leader. Sometimes you have to manipulate your army to get the job done. That's why you have been put in the place of leader. You are the leader of that child, so you make the executive decision. When a woman makes a man leader of said relationship, you should trust.
So I hear what you're saying. I think for me, I'm getting stuck on the word manipulation. Like if a man is doing something because he knows it's something that's best for the both of us, and I'm trusting him as a leader, then I would say he's caring for us or he's caring for me. I wouldn't want to use the word. Yeah, I'm getting stuck on the word manipulation. It's just that simple. Because when I hear the word manipulation, I think you're bending something in order to gain something for yourself.
Manipulation
So,
comes into play when I don't have full control. I don't control you. I just met you.
but why would you
And
want
my
to
job,
control that? That's the thing.
my job is to get you to like me, to
I
want
got you.
to want to be in a relationship with me, to want to be a
Your
part of my life.
job really is to just be
So,
you. I'm going to decide if I like you or not. Not
so
you,
once
like
again,
you bending into it.
I won't tell women how to be women. So now try to gain an understanding of how men are men, because we understand there is competition. We understand there's always an
Mm,
option outside of my door that could hinder my household, that could become in
mm.
between me and my woman. So I have to manipulate every situation when I go outside to work, when I walk into the quick trip, when I stop by Kroger on the way home. As a black
Okay.
man, respectfully, manipulation is every bit a part of my life because I have to make every situation work in my favor, as well as I have to manipulate every situation to make sure that I'm safe within it.
So
So I have to speak a certain way. It's no different than the movie when you watch and you see how, in order for me to be successful, I don't get to yo at work. I don't get to be my natural, regular self. It is very much so manipulation, where when my customer, consumer comes in, hello, how are you doing today? My name's Christopher. I can't wait to help you. It's manipulation because I am putting on a persona. So on this app, when we ask Uma to be her best self, her higher vibrated self, it is not natural to do what she does on a daily basis, just walking around. She is very much so putting on a show for us in most cases. Even though it's truly who she is, it is still a heightened version of self. Why? Because I'm here to lead. Why? Because I see something in you and I want to pour into you. Why? Because I see greatness and think that you could go far. Let's put you on a show. Why? It's all manipulation. She is manipulating people into becoming excellent, great, better versions of themselves. And that's good manipulation. If she was doing it and it was to people's detriment, we'd be talking about her different. But she's never come into a message box and said a DM and said, hey guys, I got an idea. And it not been to help somebody, get somebody to feel better, get somebody to vent and let something off their chest. It's always for betterment. Even though I see that
wait,
there's some.
Humble, I got you.
Go
I
ahead.
got
Go
you.
ahead. Go ahead. I don't want to keep talking. I'm sorry.
Yeah, Humble's been trying to get a word in, and then we have some comments, but I like where you're going with it, Six. Go ahead, Humble.
I just wanted to say, I hear like no one likes that word manipulation, but you gotta look at the world. Manipulation, like all that, when people are doing that, this world is so much full of greed. greed done got to everybody. People want what other people have, you know, knowing they can't do this, they want to do this, and they want to do this, you know. So, you know, when I hear like, yeah, with the manipulating, I just feel like all that's built in with that. You know, people are greedy. People, you know, they want more than what they can handle. They want, you know, they want to, what's that? They want to have their cake and eat it too. That's what it is nowadays. So yeah, you're saying you're gonna get the manipulative. You're gonna people that are greedy, that are gonna have, you know, you might find them with like 2 families, a girlfriend on the side, and a side piece. But that's what it is nowadays. You know. But I did feel sick what he was saying, like, you know, but some parts I did not feel, you know.
Share your opinion. That's what.
If your woman is your partner, you shouldn't be manipulating her. Y'all should be on the same page. Because at the end of the day, y'all aren't gonna like everything, but y'all are gonna reason to work everything out to make it where it's gonna fit for both of y'all. You know what I mean? Where you ain't gotta manipulate each other. You know what I mean?
How do you feel about that, Six? Do you? It is.
I think everything about it's kind of hard to. I'm sorry. It's kind of hard to subscribe to that narrative when I think everything that I see on a woman is a form of manipulation. When I could literally be out with her, met her, and respectfully, because we are grown and we are 2 adults, we choose to have a one-night stand. Okay? Let's go down that road. When we got to that hotel room that I spent a lot of money for, because based on the perception of what she gave me, the visual, the look, she looks like, oh, it has to be 5-star hotel. So after purchasing this suite, she goes into the bathroom. And when she comes back out, I'm wondering if her cousin is now the person that I'm talking to. Because she favors the person that I met outside in the streets. But as I look at this woman now, her lashes have come off. Her lace front has come off. Her waist trainer has come off. Okay. Her moo has gone on. Her bonnet has gone on. Okay. Listen. So if we're going to talk about manipulation, I'm saying this respectfully as shit. Okay. I want to be respectful right now because I love women and everything that you guys do to beautify yourself. I love you. Okay. But don't talk to me about manipulation. Okay.
Get out of here, sir. You just went and attacked every darn woman in here. Oh my God. But point proven. There is not all women use all of that for manipulation, but there are some women that you're absolutely right. They use so much makeup or whatever else, it doesn't look like the real thing. So I want to welcome you guys in. Thank you guys so much for being in the comments and running it up. We're going to have Queen and BN unmute themselves. And if you guys have any questions or comments to either of these 2 very courageous ladies, I find, for coming in these boxes tonight and sharing a very personal part of themselves, please put the comments, the questions in the comment section so we can ask them. I want to first start by asking both of you, but I want to start with Queen. Queen, how are you doing? Because I know this is all very recent. This literally just happened last week, from last week, Thursday to now, 1 week. Where are you? Where are you in your mind frame? What's going on for you?
Honestly, right now, my mind is not even thinking about Kyle. I'm kind of staying away from stream right now, but I'm not because you know what I mean? He is unread in my stream. I know of 2 accounts that he has, and they're unread. And if he does end up coming back on the app, he will be kicked from my life. Because he was always in my life. And to be honest, now that I know what I know, it's like I don't even want anything to do with him. Like, he's been messaging me constantly. I blocked him on Snap. I actually silenced him on Snap. I haven't blocked him yet. But now that I found out all this information, I will be blocking him and blocking him from Insta because of the simple fact that I'm sorry, but no, I'm not going to antagonize this man to keep him in my life. I don't want him. I
Yeah, I
I
agree.
want
I feel
to come to me.
I agree because I feel like after hearing all the stories put together, I myself will be blocking him from my IG, and I don't have Snap, but my IG and my stream. So bouncers, we were giving him space to come in, and I think your microphone Queen is kind of coming in and out. Yeah, it is. Well, I don't know. Is it Queen or is it BN? One of you unmute.
I think it was me. I just muted mine. I just muted mine.
All right, Queen, unmute yours. Let's see if it was yours. It's Queen's. It's something's going on with your mic. Do you have it by like a fan or anything?
Yeah, it might just be a fan or something.
Can you hear it? Can you hear the
I hear the wind. It sounds like wind or static or something. Yeah.
static or something? So something said I would even report him. Yeah, that's the thing because that's where like I'm wondering what should be the next steps concerning Kyle. Go Ferret. I don't know if you're still in here, but because I don't know what Queen would report him on. Like she got stood up, Go Ferret could report him because she actually has evidence of him trying to talk to a 15-year-old girl. Is his name even Kyle? Oh, Go Ferret did report him. She did report him. Yeah, that's all we can do. And just warn people is essentially what we can do is, yeah, just stay away from that guy, Kyle. There's something going on with him. For
Let me
sure.
ask you something, Uma.
Mm-hmm.
And this is for all the ladies in the comments to kind of think about more than for you to really take and, just if you don't like it, take it, throw it away. But there may be something here for you. Uma, have you ever wore some stiletto heels and it was tough for you to walk in them things and you almost fell or you did fall?
Mm-hmm.
Did you call your friends the next time you went out or the next person you talked to? Did you go tell them about that fall? Matter of fact, do you bring that fall up any? Or do you
No.
just kind of, if somebody asks you, hey, what's your most embarrassing moment? Right? You may bring it up then, right?
Right.
I think we got to look at, and this is for everyone, men too. We're going to fall in relationships. It doesn't mean we have to go and tell the next person. It doesn't have to be a topic of conversation with the next person I'm getting to know. Because respectfully, does somebody want to date someone that's clumsy? Right? If I'm clumsy and I'm always falling, you may not find that attractive. So if I'm clumsy in my love and all I have to tell you is about these falls I've made in relationships, oh, I let this person get me. This guy tricked me. That guy did that. This girl did that. You just don't look like a good option for me because it shows me you've had a lot of falls, a lot of slips, and you need to go get some slip resistant shoes. And I don't want to be the slip resistant shoes for you because what's keeping you from falling again? Me. You've fallen in every other relationship. And then you come and tell me about your falls. So all I would say is, in the great words of Mr. Donnie McClurkin, we fall down, but then we get up. So if that's the case, when it's important, speak on your falls. But some falls are just for you. It's a personal journey within self to say, hey, queen, see what could have happened? Way to catch it, girl. Glad it didn't go 6 months. High five yourself for catching it when you caught it. Get back up and go on to the next one.
I agree, but I also disagree because I rather shout from the rooftop, Kyle is not a safe person to be around, than to shut my mouth and not say anything. And then I have a female streamer coming to me crying, saying her daughter was essayed. Because that was the fear I had when Queen Snow Angel said she had a daughter. And that's why I reached out to Go Ferret and I asked her, right? Go Ferret, I was like, can I please share the story of what happened a couple months ago? And she said, yeah, because it made me nauseous. I didn't know the ages of Snow's children, but once she told me about the daughter and then the Snapchat and all of that, I got sick in my stomach because I said, my God, I could have had a hand in this. You understand? I knew something about him and I failed to follow up with it properly the way Go Ferret did. Go Ferret did the right thing. She reported him. She didn't play around. She didn't second guess herself. She did the right thing. I didn't do the right thing. And I nearly jeopardized a woman and her child. So I got to live with that. You understand? So that's why now I'm on the warpath concerning him, because I do feel he is a menace to society. I do feel that he should not be around women or children. I do feel that I'm going to be taking a very strong stance against it, because the first time it happened, I was like, okay, it could be, it couldn't be. I wasn't sure. I didn't want to believe, to be honest. I didn't want to believe. But now this second time this happening now, no, this is predatory. This is a pattern. And if you did it once, and it was only a few months ago, we've been down this road. Now you're doing it again. So you, sir, are on the path to destruction. You are on the path to hurting somebody. And I just don't want to be a part of that. And unfortunately, when you go to trial for cases like that, everybody who had some sort of association gets pulled into that. Like right now, they're looking at Diddy, right? Diddy's not the only person going down for all the stuff that they're finding in those cases. If they hired you, Queen, to clean up the rooms after those freak-offs, 6, if they hired you as the driver to pick people up from the airport and drop them off at the hotels, BN, if they hired you to make flight reservations for these people, you're all going down. It's called racketeering now. So and that's the highest form of crime in America. So it's one of those things where you got to make a public stand. I do not stand with this person. And if I know that you're trying to talk to him, I'm going to advise you very strongly against talking to this person for your health and your safety and the safety of your children if you have them. That's my stance on this individual right now. And I'd rather look stupid out here. You know what I'm saying? And I'd rather people say, oh, Uma's going too far or pushing the button, than for it to be the other way around, where somebody gets hurt and people say Uma didn't do enough. You know what I'm saying? That part too educated, because I started reading that book on my Educated Flowers said, I'm sure Diddy's favorite self-help book is The 48 Laws of Power and The Art of War. And 6, we have that mutual acquaintance of ours that loved The 48 Laws of Power. And, at the end of the day, it's like, I started reading that book on my channel on TikTok, and I had to stop. I had to stop reading it. I just couldn't agree with any of the chapters. I couldn't agree with any of it.
So, again, I get it, because in a woman's space, I don't know where y'all's safe space, how it's created, how it's maintained, how it's sustained, how you guys uplift each other. I just don't know. I'm coming in from, again, a man's point of view.
But think about it from a man's point of view. If this was involving your daughter with Kyle,
she wouldn't be on Snapchat. I wouldn't have any. I can control my daughter. I can't control outside. It's no different than the conversation I would have pulled that young lady who had a man pull up to her house when you showed me a video of a son jumping on a trampoline. He brings him a skateboard. I should not be having a conversation with the man outside the door. I'm having a conversation with his mother. I'm having a conversation with the mother of the child. I'm having a conversation with the child. We are removing Roblox from the video game. She now has an understanding that this kid is too young to be playing games where there is access to outside life. It's no different. We should have learned this back when we saw Sinbad protecting the president's son in the first Kid, the movie. When the kid is playing this virtual video game and he shows up at the mall and he ends up meeting this guy who once worked for his dad, who's now trying to hold him hostage. That shit came out in 1990 something. So again, as a man, I'm not going to fault a predator for being a predator. We let the law, we let the people in jail, and we let my hands do with him when it comes time, when there's actually guilt, when I can say for a fact he did. That's just how men operate. Up until that, it's a bunch of speculation in which men try to take control and say, well, hey, honey, hey, sis, hey, mom, hey, auntie, hey, daughter, we got to make better choices. Let's remove these things. Because for us to say that our kids are susceptible to predators on Snapchat, but allow this app to remain on the phone, men move in logic, not emotion. And logically, if you tell me that a predator could access my daughter through Snapchat, then that yellow button needs to come off of her phone. End of conversation.
So we have some comments. Go ahead.
But we as men don't get to do that because it's no different than Donald Trump telling you what to do with your body.
So Educated said, your daughter will grow up and be exposed to several Kyles. She needs to know they exist. Go for Greatness said, I don't give a flying rolling donut who is hurt or upset by my stance. As a mom, if you make inappropriate or questionable comments to a child, you're going to see 50 shades of hurt from me. Educated said, we can't compartmentalize predatory behavior. You can't always control your kids. A predator doesn't need any preconditions. Predators are getting kids on Minecraft, Fortnite. That's the thing. A predator is going to be a predator. Even if you had, I feel, if any of us had our children locked up in the house, locked up in a room, you know what I'm saying? With a slot through the door that we give them food through. If a predator wanted to get in, a predator will get in. You know? Queen, what are you going to do differently after this recent experience with what you went through? Do you plan to date again? Are you still hopeful and optimistic about dating, or you're just, I need a timeout, I need some space? Where are you at with it?
Well, as of right now, honestly, I'm just trying to take care of my girls, and I'm looking still, but I'm waiting for that person to come to me because honestly, I have more problems that I have to deal with, that I have to take care of myself. Like getting my neck surgery is the most important thing I want to get done right now. And
Right.
the second thing is my back surgery, which I am scared to death of doing because I have two daughters and I will be down for I don't even know how many months. And I can't work. I can't lift anything over 5 pounds right now. So, I mean, it's just, I'm trying to do me. And that's all I'm worried about right now.
Very good. Well, we wish you well on your healthcare journey, and we hope that everything turns out, well for you and your kids, and you guys can be on the road to recovery together as a family and also for your health pretty soon. Thank you. BN, what about you? I know your story ended a little bit more positively because you caught the scammer and you were able to, kind of not lose anything in the process. How are you in terms of dating? Are you single? Are you in a relationship? How do you feel about love? Are you hopeful or pessimistic?
Ooh, those are loaded questions. I'm very much single. Yes, very much single. But right now, and just be honest, I'm frustrated with the whole thing. I'm not looking. I'm single, but I'm not looking. And kind of like what Queen said, I'm just doing me right now, working on issues that I know of myself that needs to be released and healed, because I feel like I'm not attracting what I want. If I'm looking at what I'm attracting, I'm like, there's more work to do because that ain't what I want, you know? So I'm in that space right now. Yeah, so I'm not actively seeking out. I'm not, you know, reaching out to people like online and stuff. Yeah, I'm single, but I'm not looking. So that's kind of where I'm at right now.
I got it. I got it. You're just
Yeah,
kind of
with love, I still believe in love. I hope for it, but it just ain't here for me right now. So I just have to show it to myself, overfill my cup, and then maybe it'll come from the overflowing. I don't know, but I'm just working on myself right now. So that's kind of where I'm at.
6, do you have any questions or last questions for the ladies? My last question to the two of you is, do you feel more confident because of the drama and trauma you went through in dating? Do you feel more confident if a new man approaches you, you can have a better feeling of who he is, what he is, and whether he's worth the time to invest in?
Honestly, for me, I would say if he's in, like, see, what I do is, I hate to say it, but I do background checks on guys if I know their full entire name. I do complete background checks, especially in the state that I live in. I can pull it up for free. I don't know about any other states if there's an app out there or a website, but I check and see what they've done. And, you know, if they are what they say they are, you know what I mean? So honestly, that's what I do.
And I'm really glad you said that because
I'm looking at.
Go ahead, Bien.
Oh no, I didn't want to cut you off. I'm sorry. I'll wait.
No, I just wanted to say to women, do a background check. I actually did a background check on my man, and he was so surprised. He's like, "You did?" I was like, "Well, you gave me your full name and your phone number when we got together, so it ain't nothing but $20 to do a whole background check, and everything checked out. The address where he said he lived at, his grandmother, his mother's name, you know. So everything. That's all I was looking for is the stories you're telling me. Does it match your actual life?" And thankfully it did.
Yeah.
Bien, what about you?
So actually, the last person that. Oh, go ahead. So
Oh no,
the
no,
last
I'm sorry.
person
Go ahead.
that
Go ahead.
okay, the last person that actually went out on a date with, I did that once I had the name and the phone number. I did, you know, like a semi background check. I didn't do the full one, but it was enough for me to verify the information he was giving me. So I'm like, okay, he is local. Okay, he's got roots here. Okay, you know, and so when I went to actually meet him, it was like, okay, so he's telling the truth up to this point, you know, but then that wasn't enough, because when I met him, you know, he was cool and everything and stuff, but there was just no there was no connection. There was no like chemistry. Because you either like hit it off or you don't. If you try to wait and let it marinate, sometimes that works. But for me, sometimes it don't. It's either hit or miss. It's either is or isn't. And so we went on what do you call it? A coffee date. Because that way nobody's out of pocket for a whole bunch of money. I'm like, oh, take me to Ruth Chris. I'm not about all that. Let's go to coffee and see if we can even have a decent conversation. If we can have a conversation, ain't no need to go any further. So we had coffee, you know, whatever. And I'm thinking, okay, it's kind of cool. So then he asked me out on an actual date. And so we went out on an actual date. But the whole time I'm going, I don't know, I ain't feeling this guy. So, but I'm gonna go on the second date just in case. Maybe I overlook something, you know. We go on the second date and it just sealed it for me. And I'm like, yeah, I'm cutting my ties, because he was just being himself, which was fine, which I would prefer people to be themselves, because then people wouldn't be wasting a whole lot of time with this one and that one. If people just be themselves, okay, we don't click. All right, well, you're a good person. Nice to meet you, and move on. And that's kind of what I did. I was like, you know, we don't want the same thing. We're not even on the same page. So I don't really see a need to go any further, you know. And then he tried to do the whole, you know, what do you call it? What do you call it? Gaslighting. I was like, oh yeah, definitely. Yeah, no. But I did do the background check and everything. and things checked out because, you know, what he was saying and stuff like that. So women pay that $20 or whatever it is. So that as soon as you get that number, run a background check. So you can see if they got a mortgage, you know, on some of them, they got whose name's on the mortgage. Is it just his or some other woman? You know what I mean? It's like, you need to know some of these things before you even try to get up with this person, because you don't know what they're trying to say or do. Now he had a decent job. He had his own car, house, great job and stuff. He just wasn't for me. And that's okay. So yeah, definitely do the background check if you can do it.
I just want to make it clear. Okay. I want to make this very clear, the humongous double standard we are speaking on right now. The same way it's okay for y'all to do what you're saying you're doing right now. A man finding out where you work is predatory. A man finding out where you live is predatory. If he gets your number before you give it to him, it's predatory. So if I were to take your information, if I was to use my government resources to get information on you, BN, came on this internet and spoke about the information I got after maybe we started talking, and I came to you and said, hey, listen, I just want to be honest. I ran a background check on you. It's going to be very off-putting. You are going to be very disturbed in most cases.
I don't know.
See, it depends on who you're dealing with. I would not be disturbed. If anything, I'd say, well, what did you find out? Because I would like to know what's out there. Like, I wouldn't be off-putting because it's something that I'm doing. So that would be a double standard for me to be upset that, you ran a background check. No, run a background check on me. Because if you find something, I want to know. I want to know what's out there because, you know, so and then the other thing too is I do a background check. It's for my information. It is not for me to be flaunting in your face saying, hey, I found this. No, all I did was compare what he said to me with what I found. That's it. I didn't bring it up. I just knew that he's telling the truth. That's it. It's not predatory. If a guy was to use their resources to find out where I live and phone number and all this, that's fine. They want to see if I'm telling the truth, but don't show up at my job unannounced when I didn't give you permission to come. You can have the information, but it's predatory if you use that information because you just want to. No, use that information for knowledge, not to be preying on somebody. Like, there's a difference. There's a difference between getting the information for knowledge to see if they're telling the truth and getting the information because now you want to stalk this person. That's a totally different thing.
And I think it was two different situations because Six, you were saying, if I got this information, but me and BN, we used the information they gave us. We didn't actually go out looking for the information. It's like with my man, he gave me his full name and his phone number. And just based off of those two things, I was able to run a background check.
Okay. And if a young lady on this app gave me her name and her phone number,
run a background check.
I will know her kids' names in 30 minutes.
Well, yeah.
So if So if I bring up those kids' names, it's predatory. That is
why would you
information
bring up their name? If she hasn't brought it up, you don't need to bring it up.
And that's my point. So although I have the information, it's now manipulation. We just spoke about
it's only manipulation if you're doing something with it.
I think it's how you present the information.
Like, you wouldn't need to bring up her kids' names, but if she's talking to you and she tells you, hey, my son Gerard is playing football, you already knew his name was on the list. You know she's telling the truth. You don't need to.
Exactly.
You don't need to, hey, what about this person and who's this and who's that and how are they associated with you?
If I can't trust what's coming out of your mouth, why am I dating you? If I can't trust what you're saying to me, why am I dating you? I get understand
that's
reference
the question
points,
you need to be asking.
But I mean, that's why Facebook. If I give you access to my Facebook, you have access to every post, every social event that's happened that I've spoken on, everybody in my family, all of my college friends. There's too much there.
Well,
that would be easy,
but my man.
It's the fact that I have to consent to a business running a background on me, but you will run one without my consent, and it's okay.
No, I'm not saying it's okay, but I did disclose. Like, I'll tell you, my partner does not have Facebook. If he had Facebook, I wouldn't have to run a background check because everything's on Facebook. But he's a very private person, and the two Instagram accounts he has, he hardly posts. So it was like, I'm going to run this background check. And then once I ran it, I immediately told him because I wanted him to know, like, I'm not hiding anything from you. I told him right after I ran it, I said, hey, I want to let you know, I ran a background check on you. And he laughed. He's like, what? He was surprised. He's like, I've never heard of that. I've never had a woman run a background check on me. I said, but you have only dated women in New York. And that's the best way to do it because somebody knows the person you're dating. Whether you know them or not, somebody, a friend of a friend, a sister, auntie, uncle, cousin, somebody knows the person you're dating. You have validation. I don't know you. I met you online. We don't live in the same city, same town. I don't know your people. Your people don't know my people. And when I said it that way, he's like, I get it. He's like, I understand. He's like, you're looking out for yourself. You're a single mom with kids. You're trying to do the right thing and be protective of you and your kids. He's like, I respect it. And then when he told me stuff like, you know, his grandmother's name or his mom's name, I already knew because of the background check, but I didn't really have to say it to him and be like, oh, I already know. I just listened. And I was like, this makes me feel safer in this connection because everything he's telling me lines up with what I found in the background check. Educated said there are 2 high-profile celebrity marriages right now where the women did not do their due diligence and married whole scammers. Women get bamboozled all the time. And that is an interesting thing. Is it that because men are not getting bamboozled, men are not so quick to
What?
well, that's what I'm asking, right? Like, why would you not want to do a background check on a brand new, let's say you met BN here on the app and you develop feelings for her, wouldn't it be safe to run a background check on her and just see if things added up?
I mean, to be honest, if that's the case, then we need this. It's almost like the balloons, right? Let's do a 20v1 balloon pop. Let's line up 20 women. Let's run background checks on each one. And then let me look at your lives and see which one I find is a suitable life for me to now have potential children with, have a family with, and the rest of my life with. Yes, that's an amazing option. I should be able to see that divorce, that messy divorce you went through. I should be able to see the 2 to 3 to 4 kids that you had with 2 to 3 to 4 men. I should be able to see that you were on Section 8 back in 2013, but you were only on it for 3 months, girl. That's what I'm talking about. You used it for that moment and got off. I need to be able, yeah, let me see all that. Let me get all dirty up in your business. And then when it's respectfully, I think it's quite intrusive because whenever you wanted to tell me about that deceased child, I should have never had the information. And we should have had a naturally godly universal moment when you chose it was fitting. Not me sitting up here thinking about it for 6 months, wondering when the fuck she gonna tell me about this Janisha? Who is Janisha? And then you finally say when the anniversary of her death comes around. I just feel like it's intrusive as shit. Because although you're trying to verify things, there's also a lot of information that you shouldn't be privy to until that person wants to give it. And that's why in most cases, you have to consent to that information being given. Because it's not just public information for people to be out here just go get. That's why this doxing shit on the app will get you canceled. They will remove you from the app for doxing. And that's exactly what we're speaking of right now. Is getting information on people to verify that I don't want my heart broken. Let me make sure you're not a scammer.
I think it's deeper for women, especially women who have children. As lovely as your way sounds, the old-fashioned romantic, let's get to know each other and, you know, and all of this, me as a 46-year-old woman with 2 boy children, I cannot take that chance. I just cannot. I had to give up romanticism a long time ago because I cannot trust anybody off of online dating, especially me, myself being a victim of SA when I was a child. So I am hyper alert when it comes to my children. That's why you guys don't see me post about my children on social media. Like I will post every now and then when it's something special, but I really don't post about my children on social media because I know what perverts do with the photos. I know how these things get passed around. I know how they can geolocate things off of your photos and find your address. You know, it's really high tech out there. And I just protect, my whole goal is to protect my family. My feelings can wait. My romantic feelings can wait. And besides, I don't need to be romantic in the beginning. I need to be cautious in the beginning. And then once we have established a relationship, we can be as romantic as we want to be. You know, I really like the way I did it. I checked my man out when we first started talking, and I realized this man wanted a relationship with me, and I had feelings for him. I checked him out. And guess what? Once everything lined up, it allowed me to relax. It allowed me to relax in a relationship because he said who he was who he was, and we were able to develop a relationship. You know, did things come up during the relationship? Of course, there's still surprises that are going to come up. Your report is not going to tell you everything about a person, you know, so things will come up. And what I like about the way our relationship developed is he actually told me things before about him, so that when we went into talking and when I did the report, it verified Six is here, but he's not over here. And then
Yeah, my
BM,
phone died on the other side.
okay. Well, we are going to wrap this up. This was an amazing talk. I want to thank again Queen Snow Angel and BN for joining me and Mr. Six for tonight's show. And I know I'm kind of like cutting it, you know, because we did start at 9 and it's now 11. But we will continue the after party in the Meetme Lounge, the Lotus Lounge on Meetme, for those of you that still want to stay and chat and have some more real conversations, heart-to-heart conversations about this. But I love what we all did here tonight. I feel like we need to leave messages for men and women dating. Please protect yourself. We do all want to fall in love and have a loving relationship. But as we've heard here tonight, not everybody showing up are the real deal. And not everybody showing up with the same intentions as you.
So I will advise, I guess it's my last words. You are going, everybody remembers the day when malls and shopping centers were lit. And you went out and you just hope that the person standing there selling you something was a decent, honest salesman. But in most cases, salesmen, as one of the best ever, we have gotten a bad rap. Because salesmen are sharky. Salesmen are out for themselves. Salesmen are just trying to get you to buy. And we are in a dating pool of salesmen. Men out here selling themselves. Are they who they say they are? Is the product what they say it is? Is it worth the buy? Are you going to have buyer's remorse? Do you understand the return policy? I think we should just look at dating more in that viewpoint, is that you're a salesman and your job is to sell me you. People buy from people they like. Don't buy from the person until you know you like them.
That is a great message. Thank you, everyone, for coming. I hope that you enjoyed tonight. And please, if you're watching this recording, leave us some messages in the comments. Thanks, guys. Have a great night.